Hello, this is Shan Chandrasekhar welcoming you to another delightful part of our programming. As part of the Achievers series, we featured some of the finest achievers from around the world. We are very honored and delighted to present an outstanding individual. He's an extraordinary divine personality with extraordinary accolades in the field of education, healthcare, nutrition, and social work. He's got a BSc honors degree in chemistry, he's got a master's degree in chemistry with a gold medal, and he's got an MBA with a gold medal, and on top of that he's got an honorary doctorate. We are delighted and absolutely privileged to welcome Sadguru Madhusudan Sai. Sadguru, what an honor to have you with us, sir.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a proud moment for me too, to be a part of this television network that you have created with such great love and care.
Sadhguru, what you have accomplished, I don't even know where to begin, because it's a lifetime accomplishment for about 200 individuals that you have single-handedly done. At a very young age, you were inspired by one of the greatest at that time living human beings of divine nature, none other than Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I understand you were influenced by him at a very, very young age. Your maternal grandfather and your aunt were apparently ardent disciples and followers of Bhagawan. Please tell us a little bit about your early days and your introduction to his movement.
You're right, we are inspired by the ideals and the teachings of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I studied there. All these degrees that you mentioned, I have done it at his institute at Puttaparthi, and all for no fee at all. He believed in freeing education from the clutches of commerce, and that inspired me. But before I came to Puttaparthi when I was 17, I had spent a lot of time in the central Indian state of Chhattisgarh, the erstwhile Madhya Pradesh. I was born there near Bilaspur, and my grandfather, both sides were working for the government then from the British times, and so everybody grew up there, 3 generations. So we hardly knew any Telugu. We all spoke in Hindi and we were more of Hindi people. But then things turned. My maternal grandfather found out about Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and that must have been something in early 70s. And that is when he started, following him. And there were bhajans at his place, at his residence on every second Saturday. And as kids, when we were growing up, we were looking forward to going to his place for the bhajans, because we used to stay 100 kilometers apart. And that kind of started drawing me towards Sathya Sai Baba's teachings, his principles, and a lot of stories that I heard from my grandfather. There will be bhajans playing all the time. His talks and discourses would be playing on the cassettes. And that sort of, laid the foundation for my journey towards him. So when the time came after my schooling, it was time to choose the college. And I was 17, as I mentioned. I finished my 12th at Kendriya Vidyalaya in a small industrial town called Balco, Bharat Aluminium Company. That is where my parents were working. So I came looking for an education, and of course we were devotees, and that was one reason why I wanted to go to Puttaparthi. But largely at that point of time, our family circumstances were not that great. I wanted to be a doctor, by the way. I was preparing for it. But then the divine calling came. A friend of mine who was also a devotee, the parents were devotees, he told that he was applying for this institute in Puttaparthi. And he just got another application for me without even asking me. And I just filled it up, casually, and sent it. And we got the call for the exams and the interview, but it clashed with my medical entrance exam. Now I had to choose between the medical entrance exam or the Puttaparthi entrance exam. And somehow Baba's will prevailed. I came to Puttaparthi because the medical exams got postponed that year by 2 weeks or so. But once I came to Puttaparthi, there was no going back, there was no turning back. I had the first darshan of Baba in Whitefield, because that was the summer time and he would stay in Whitefield, and our eyes met, and that was the beginning of this wonderful story. I call it a divine love story, and things were never the same again. So I studied there for 7 years. I, under his tutelage, his mentorship, received a lot of guidance and love from him, a lot of personal interactions and such intimate moments where he had guided me about my life and future and our family too. And once I finished my MBA, that was the last degree I did, he asked me to work for a while in banking sector. I worked for 6 years there. And then he, in his own inimitable way, he called me back. And I was yearning to go back to him. I never wanted to leave him, but he said that you have some time before you can come back. And so I came back to him, and that's when this, you know, how Baba left his physical frame in 2011, and I was actually at a loss. I did not know where to proceed, how to go about doing what I wanted to do for him. But then in his own way, you know, he's a spiritual master. He guided me through my personal sadhana and through all the spiritual experience I had with him. And that is how we embarked on this journey of service, which is what is guided by him. And I'm truly grateful for all the guidance and blessings that he has given.
Incredible. Your accomplishments in the field of healthcare, education, nutrition, and in the field of social work has been unbelievably outstanding. I haven't come across any comparison anywhere else in the world to that extent, and you should receive a Nobel Prize for that in terms of what you have done. You had 3 missions. So can you tell me in the order in which that you noticed those 3 special missions of yours?
Right. So as you mentioned, the 3 verticals of free education, all the way from schooling till the university, free healthcare, which is from primary to tertiary healthcare, and free nutrition, which is mainly for the school-going children and the pregnant women. Now, we started off with the education actually. First, we started a small school in a northern district of Karnataka state, which is in south of India.
Right.
And it was the back of the beyond. That is what people would say. And nobody would go there because it was a poor district, a dry district, but Baba guided me for the first time to do it there. So we went to this district called Kalburgi today and Gulbarga then. We started a small high school in a tin shed. And that is how it began. And we never expected that it would grow into a university today, where hundreds of boys and girls are getting their graduation, post-graduation for free. So we started with that. First was education. And also it was something that I understood because I myself was a student. I was passionate about education. And we met one of these devotees of Baba, Sri Narasimhamurthy, who was in the field of education for over 30, 40 years with Baba. So that is how things started happening. And we started with one school. Today we have around 28 campuses and many institutions. There are 36 plus institutions, including a university, and world's first free medical school.
Wow.
That is what opened in 2023, and it was opened by the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, where we give free education to anybody who qualifies through the exam. 75% of them come from very humble backgrounds who cannot even imagine that kind of education. So education was the first one.
Here's a speech by Right Honorable Narendra Modi.
आप सभी इतने उमंग और उत्साह के साथ अनेक सपने लेकर के, नए संकल्प लेकर के सेवा की इस महान प्रवृत्ति में जुड़े हैं। आपके दर्शन करना ये भी मेरे लिए सौभाग्य है। साथियों, इस धरती ने सत्य साई ग्राम के रूप में भी सेवा का एक अद्भुत मॉडल देश को दिया है। शिक्षा और स्वास्थ्य के माध्यम से जिस प्रकार मानव सेवा का मिशन यहां चल रहा है, वो वाकई अद्भुत है। आज जो यहां मेडिकल कॉलेज शुरू हो रहा है, इससे ये मिशन और सशक्त हुआ है। श्री मधुसूदन साई इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मेडिकल साइंस एंड रिसर्च हर वर्ष अनेक नए प्रतिभावान डॉक्टर देश की कोटि कोटि जनता की सेवा में राष्ट्र को समर्पित करेगा। मैं संस्थान को और चिक्कबल्लापुरा यहां के सभी लोगों को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
Stay tuned, we'll be right back after these messages.
We started off with the education, and then it was healthcare. Almost around the same time, but with maybe a gap of 2 or 3 months, we embarked on a hospital in Raipur, Chhattisgarh. That's where I was born. As I mentioned, it's a tribal state, quite backward.
Right.
And it's very interesting because the first time when I went to Puttaparthi, I was entering the Puttaparthi town, and the first thing that you see on the right side as you enter is a huge palatial structure, very imposing. And that's a super specialty hospital. It was told to me by somebody else who was traveling with me. And I thought, if this is a free hospital for the poor in Puttaparthi, how nice it would be if there was a hospital like this in Chhattisgarh too, where I lived, because I have seen a lot of people very poor. And fast forward 2011, and this happened. We started working, and through Dr. Sri Srinivas, who was another kind of right-hand man of Baba, who all his life he served Baba by building healthcare facilities. So he kind of was brought in, and then he is the one who led that part of healthcare. And we built the first pediatric heart hospital in Chhattisgarh, Raipur. And I'm very proud to say, after that many more happened. Now we have 15 hospitals, 5 pediatric, 5 mother and child, 2 more heart hospitals in Fiji and Sri Lanka, and we have a multi-speciality hospital for the medical school. All this happened thereafter in the last 12 years, and all the surgeries, everything is given free to all the patients who come through the doors of these hospitals. And we have served over 3 million patients and almost 50,000 plus surgeries, but all that is done for free. That is the second pillar. And the third one was nutrition. And again, I said these are more or less within the span of 6-7 months, plus and minus. That's when we noticed that there were children going to school on an empty stomach. They were given midday meals. That was a program by the government. But morning meals were not given, and that was so important to have morning nutrition. As you know, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So that is where this idea came again. It was internally guided by Baba that such a program could be initiated. And one man by name Ananda, he was a good colleague and friend, and we ideated. And I asked whether he could take this up by starting to serve a few people. And that's when he started with just 50 children on the outskirts of Bangalore city. And today it has grown into the world's largest morning nutrition program that serves 10 million children every day across 150,000 plus locations.
My God.
Yeah, and that's going on so very efficiently. And we are very proud of it because it has solved so many other issues, including anemia, stunting, wasting, malnutrition, especially in the girls, the adolescent girls and mothers to be. So we came up with a very innovative product called Sai Show, which is a millet-based formula, and it is fortified with the requirements, daily requirements of the children in terms of minerals, vitamins. And jaggery is added to sweeten and make it tastier. And now this is sent all around the country, produced in our own backyard in Muddenahalli. That's where the ashram is, near Bangalore. And it goes to all these centers every day. Children are given, and it's making a huge difference to the health profile of these kids in India right now.
Wow, my God, that's mind-boggling. The figures that you said, statistics-wise, it's not comprehensible at all. Because I found out that India has the largest population of children in the world.
Yes.
And the program that you've introduced, it's now serving millions. Is that called the Annapurna?
Right, that's called it. The names of the programs are, the first one is called Sri Sathya Sai Lokaseva Gurukulams. And that goes all the way to Sri Sathya Sai University, and of course the medical college that comes under it. The second program of healthcare is called Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Hospitals, and the third one is called Sri Sathya Sai Annapurna program.
Right. Yeah. Wonderful. You seem to have a tremendous knowledge of nutrition in addition to the need for healthcare. Where did you acquire this knowledge? Was it because of your chemistry background?
I think maybe a general background of the sciences that I had. But more importantly, as we started working in these areas, we met right people. We met nutritionists, food scientists, we met very many other social service organizations, and they guided us, including national bodies which are related to food, like the CFTRI, the millet program of the country, and research institutes like that. So join hands, and we learned from all of them and then improved our offering.
From 2015 onwards, you established centers for human development in about 12 countries around the world. Describe this, please.
Yeah. So the idea was that not everybody needed food and education and healthcare. There were people who could afford it, they had access to it, but they needed some other help from us. And that help was human evolution and improving themselves, leading a happier life, better life, in both in their own way and also towards service to others. So we came up with this idea, why not develop these institutions called Centers for Human Development. As you see in the evolutionary pattern, whenever we started with a single cell organism that we were to today this complex organism that we are. The next stage in evolution is from human is to become divine. This is the end of human evolution. So these centers are called centers for human development with the aim that they will help people become divine. And what is divinity is selfless love and service, as Baba defined. So turn people into people of selfless love and service. And these centers, which are right now across 11 countries, they also offer social service programs where people can participate. But the main thrust is also to help people develop into better human beings. So there are spiritual activities, there are studies of Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and the likes. There are study circles, value education program for kids, and many other self-help programs that are conducted by these centers right now.
You also established the Sai Global Federation of Foundations.
Yes.
So very interesting concept, because you combine several foundations under one umbrella.
True.
So tell us about the importance of this.
Yeah, we realize there are so many good people doing so much of good work around the world, but they don't know each other. If we can bring them onto the same platform, on the same ideals of love and service, then perhaps these synergies can lead to a lot more contribution towards society. So these organizations are foundations that are independent foundations in different countries, including we have one in Canada called Divine Will Foundation of Canada. So that helped us to bring like-minded organizations and people together and create synergies. This also helped us to help each other. Somebody had more resources, they were resource positive, somebody was resource negative. We could shift things and help each other. An African country got help from as far as Australia or Singapore or the US. So that is how this started building a very beautiful relationship between foundations. So all these foundations run independently, but they combine together as a collective force for goodness.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back after these messages.
2020 was a very unfortunate year globally, all over the world. Practically every country was affected by COVID, and the pandemic had a tremendously negative impact on the population. You came up with some incentives and initiatives during that period, Seeds of Wisdom. Tell us about it, please.
I thought that when the pandemic struck, many people had no choice but to just stay indoors. They couldn't go out, they couldn't meet people, they couldn't interact with them, and nobody knew what's in store for them because there was no clarity, and a lot of panic and anxiety was prevailing. We thought, what is the best way to deal with it? Of course, medical help and all that is one part of it, but how to help them deal with these uncertainties and anxieties. That's what we started a program for helping them to stabilize their mind and deal with their minds, and I call it as Master the Mind program, and it's a 30-episode program, 1 month long. But it answered a lot of questions for people. Thereafter, we took up many other studies like Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita and so on. But this helped people gain some kind of confidence, courage, and they required conviction to face the adversities and anxieties. People lost their loved ones in this time, and nothing you could do about it because that is how it was. The only solace was spirituality, where people could fall back on these great spiritual pearls of wisdom, like Bhagavad Gita says, that the Atman is indestructible. Body gets destroyed. So, we have a journey, we move on. So that helped a lot of people kind of develop some kind of courage to face the situations. So that was, I believe that was a game changer for our organizations as well, and it's a very popular program now. And people around the world study that.
Sadhguru, what is meant by Advaitic wisdom?
As you know, India is this mother of all philosophies, spiritual and even otherwise, scientific. But the highest philosophy that Indian soil has ever taught is that of Advaita. And Advaita is a Sanskrit word which simply means Advaita, no two. So there is only one, that's the idea. There is the idea of oneness in everything and everyone. And that comes from our Upanishadic wisdom of the sages who have experienced this and then spoke about it. Now in Advaita, we simply are saying there are no two. It means that table and me and you and this tumbler, we are all one. And that's very hard to comprehend. How can that be one? We are all so different. Some are animate, some are inanimate. So how is it one? So Advaita says that the fundamental building unit of all the creation is consciousness. And everything is conscious, including the table and the chair and whatever you call as dead or inanimate, even that is conscious, because there is an energy that governs this entire universe. That energy is aware, that energy is conscious, and that energy is what makes us all one. So that is the basic philosophy of Advaita, and largely it was propounded by Sri Adi Shankaracharya, and he was the one who kind of went around the country, established various establishments, mathas, and promoted this idea of Vedic wisdom of oneness, Advaita, which is also called Vedanta, because this is the ultimate wisdom of the Vedas. So that is the idea, even we agree to that. Now science is getting there. A lot of people argue with me, how is it possible? How can a table and you be the same thing? I said, yes, in many ways we are different, but there is one reason why we are still the same. Like the same gold can be made into an ornament, which is a bangle or a ring or a chain. Likewise, the same consciousness, which is the energy, takes different forms of the matter. We all know energy becomes the matter. And now with the string theory and unified field theory, it's getting more and more obvious that there is an underlying connection between everything in this universe. And that is what Advaitic thought talks about.
Oh, I see. Sadhguruji, it's been such an honor having you in the program with us. May God give you more and more strength to keep doing the wonderful things that you're doing. You know, you're not only a personification of divinity, but you're a personification of human values, and you have put that into practice, and we have no other words to describe that. We are absolutely honored, and if there is some small way in which we can be part of it, we'd be very honored to do so.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. I truly accept this on behalf of all those hundreds and thousands of volunteers and followers and supporters who work day and night selflessly for this cause.
That's wonderful. On a personal level, I wanted to ask you, what do you do in your spare time?
I listen to a lot of music. I like vachanas, I like bhajans, I like light music, and that's kind of my, relaxing thing. I also like reading, light reading. I love simple stories with some morals and a little bit of poetry. I also do some painting, but not much time now, as you see. These are the things that make me very happy, and I love animals. So if I have time, I would play with animals or kids, whoever is available.
Sadhguruji, it's such an honor having you with us, and we would love to have you back on your next trip to Canada. Please visit us here more often now. This country needs you as well.
I'm sure we would love to come back, and it's a great country, it's a multicultural country, and I look forward to coming back, meeting you again. But from my side, I think you're doing a phenomenal job to take our culture, our traditions, our ideas to the whole of the world, and especially in Canada. I think somebody has to do this, and you've done that for so many years. I believe 25 years of being listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and that's a milestone. I know this is not an easy job, and it comes with its own challenges and difficulties, but you have persevered. So also Ms. Jaya, your better half. I truly congratulate you for what you're doing, and I pray and hope that you would continue to do this for all times to come, and may this channel do much, much more for the cause of good entertainment and responsible entertainment and spreading the good word like what you're doing today for us. I'm sure this will inspire many more people to join some cause like this or with us to make it even more for more people in the world. So you are doing great service, and I'm very, very thankful for that.
You made my day, and you made our day, and on behalf of all the staff and people associated with the production of our program,
thank you.
We want to profoundly thank you.
Thank you,
and,
thank you.
And we have no other words to say. We're tongue-tied.
Thank you so much for this.